All right, all right. Are we live? We live in 1 minute, right?
We're live now, right now.
Are you there, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are we live?
We are live.
Yeah. Man, I'm so excited for today. Are you excited for today?
I am very excited.
Let's do this. We're excited with what's happening. I don't see if we have anybody else yet in here, so that's amazing. But we are definitely live right now with the Fearless Challenge right now at Exertus, right? And what we're doing over the next 5 days, guys, is we are just going to teach you the basics about money. We know that there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand how money works, how the system works, and what we're doing. But I got to tell you, we got a show for you all 5 days to give you guys some information that's going to be very, very impactful for you. Very impactful if you apply everything that you're seeing here. Now, we're going live all across social media, right? So we have a lot of people on here. I believe we have over close to 400 people that are jumping on right now. And I just want to welcome you all to what we're doing today. This is an amazing day for us at Exertus, where we're actually sharing our knowledge with everybody, just so that people become knowledgeable and understand what we're trying to accomplish. This is so incredible with what we're going to do, the guest speakers that we have lined up for you today. And let me tell you something, the first one, right? The first one to start us off is going to be incredible. This one, you know how we always say, why wait to the end for the best? Well, this is one of the best, and he's coming on first, right? And the information that you're going to see and what you're going to do right now, what you're going to experience, guys, take a lot of notes, share with a lot of people what we're doing. We're just financially educating the world if we can do it. We want to change people's communities. We want to change people's lives. We want to give them the information that maybe they didn't get at school, that maybe they didn't get where they were supposed to be. You know, we just want to give that to you here. We just want to give you a little piece of our hearts at Exertus so that you guys can see the great work that you can do just by sharing knowledge, of what we're doing, right? So the first person coming up that's going to be sharing some great knowledge, this gentleman I know personally. He's actually, I'm blessed to call him my family, my friend, right? But more importantly, a business partner in Exertus with what we're doing. And this guy is one of the top leadership in the ownership team. And this guy just really gives a lot of his heart out there. And this message he's going to give you, guys, is an incredible message. It's really breaking things down to the basics. Here is what we're going to do for you. So I want to make sure that you are ready for this, that you are ready to learn and go from here. So we are going to go with the one and only, right? If he's ready, are you ready, sir? Ready to go with this? Look at all the people on there saying we're excited, right? Yes, hello. Yeah, I'm seeing all of these messages come through, guys. Keep setting up the messages. Just light this place on fire. Just light it on fire, you guys. It's going to be incredible. I see Godfather on there. I see you already. So a lot of other people I don't know. Welcome to the call. Welcome to this Fearless 5-day challenge, not Friday, 5-day challenge. Although every day is Friday for me, we know that. But listen, we are very excited about what we're going to do and where we're going to come from on this. Is just the basics, right? It's just the basics. We just want people to really be financially educated. You know, we know that financial literacy is one of the biggest issues that we have in the United States of America today. It's just understanding the true way money works. Or what we're going to be talking about even later is about your relationship with money. But today, right now, to start us off, we have no other than our COO, right? Mr. Allan Lorenzo. Are you there, Allan?
I am here, Joe. Thank you for the great introduction. And you put a lot of pressure on me right now.
Oh man,
But
this is second nature for you, boss. This
all
is
right.
this is easy for you because you are a great educator. on just business alone, but also in finances. I respect you, look up to you so much. So this comes natural for you, my friend. So I can't wait for everybody else to hear what you're doing. So Alan, take it away, man. It's yours.
All right, thank you, Rhino. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to kick off this week long financially fitness challenge, and hopefully you guys are ready to absorb everything that we will teach you. Some of this probably you already know, but the problem is sometimes we don't implement it in our day to day living. But before I start, I just want to give a shout out to our Exertus Maui leadership. They just had a grand opening this weekend. I just came back from a very short trip. I wish I could extend it, but I have to do this challenge, and I'm very excited for it. But I want to give a shout out to the Maui leadership. They just opened their new office, and it's very organized. It's very well attended. It's well, the presenters there are awesome, and I had fun, and I really had a great time. And like I said, I wish I could have stayed. And again, congratulations, Maui leadership team, for your grand opening. Okay, so I'm kicking off this call. So let me put up my presentation. So what I want to share with you guys is, is the 10 principles of money mastery. I will in this presentation, what my goal is how to help you learn how to get out of debt and build wealth on any income. Okay, so what are these 10 principles? If you can look at this, we start off with this number one. There are 10 principles that work so well that people who follow them can achieve wealth on any income. It doesn't matter if you're a 6-figure income earner, 7-figure, 8-figure income. If you follow these principles, you can achieve wealth on any income. Okay, so over the next few minutes, I will show you the 10 principles so that you can see how they tie in with our solutions, because they are really what makes it work. However, before I start, I need to ask you to do me a favor. I know the farther I go, the more you're going to be thinking, how can they do this? How are they going to make all this happen? So let me say that if you like our why, then the details will be secondary. Okay, so once we agree that our concept is realistic, then we'll gladly go as deep into details as you want. So what I like to address right now is why there is a need for our solutions and why it works before we get into the how. Okay, so let's focus on this part first and let's get started. So let me ask you, are you 100% certain you are going to have a great retirement? Or do you have some doubts? What are two things financially that you don't have right now and that you would like to have? So, because most people want to have a productive life where they are financially comfortable and with enough free time to do the things that are important to them. The problem is very few accomplish it, and even worse, unless more people learn how to manage their money effectively, very few people will ever accomplish it. Would you agree with that? Well, what would you say if I show you a way to be debt-free, including your mortgage, in 10 years or less on your present budget, all while adding $100,000 or more to your retirement account? Would that make listening to what I have to say interesting to you? Which is, I hope so, right? So they say that the average lifetime income is about $2 million, and this funnel represents the money. So your money goes into the top and then flows out of the holes to living expenses, debts, and taxes. Do you know that about 34% of your income will go toward debts? 40% will go towards all kinds of taxes. We're talking about federal income tax, state income tax, sales tax, gas tax, everything, all towards all kinds of taxes. 23% you will use to fund your lifestyle, which only leaves 3% for saving. So, but even that Small 3% gets eaten up along the way by impulse buying, medical expenses, and other instances where life does not cooperate. Excuse me. Now, most financial experts will simply tell you to save more, right? Or talk about how you need to get better growth on your 3% savings. However, neither of those will help you eliminate your problem. Where would the additional money come from? And even if you could get better growth, how would you get enough growth to cover the amount going taxes and debt? The sad part is that most people only end up retiring with $60,000 in total assets at age 65. How many of you have seen people, seniors working still like in Walmart, Target, and such, right? $60,000 at age 65, that's hardly enough to fund what are supposed to be your golden years. So, what is the solution? Here is principle number one: spending is emotional. It's the foundation. If you don't understand this principle, all others will be limited in how they can help you, right? Have you ever heard of a guy who went down to a car dealership to just pick up brochures and came home with driving a new car, right? And how about for the ladies? You go to a mall, you said you're going to window shop, but you end up coming home with a lot of clothes, shoes, bags, because what? Because they were on sale, right? That's emotional spending. The importance lies in understanding that spending is driven by emotions, and failing to acknowledge this can lead to further issues. That's why budgets don't work, because spending is emotional. You can't cut out emotional spending in your life. So, if spending were simply a mathematical problem, more Americans would not consume all that they make and would be far wealthier than they are. Spending money almost always has a powerful emotional impact in your life, whether you realize it or not. Look at the illustration on the slide right here. Look for for better understanding of what we mean by this. If you add three oranges to another, how many do you have? Four, right? Yeah, but that depends. What if you add the oranges together and come back in a week? Will there still be four oranges? Not if one of the oranges rots or gets eaten, right? So if you add $1 to another, is it true that you have $2? Maybe for the time being, but a lot of things could happen to that dollar. It could be spent immediately on a burger. It could be deposited as part of an investment that can be worth 25 times as much in 10 years. It could be stolen, lost, or used to pay off interest on a bad debt, right? You can see that money is not just about plain math. You cannot add $1 to another and expect to always have $2. There are just too many forces working on that dollar for it to remain as it is. Those forces include what? Spending, indebtedness, and excessive taxation. So, what emotions affect the way you spend money? So, before we get to the principle number two, let me introduce to you to Mark and Joyce. It's a real couple who are clients practicing the 10 principles. We will use them to illustrate the other principles. Here we have their financial worksheet. You can see that Mark is 37 years old and Joyce is 35. They make about a combined $7,000 a month in income, and they would like to retire at age 65 with $5,500 monthly income. A question we ask Mark and Joyce is, what are the two things financially that you don't have right now that you would like to have? What they said was they wanted to be debt-free and have a good retirement. So who would not want that, right? So we asked them if they have any specific plans and to accomplish that, and they said not yet. Okay, so they knew they needed to learn more about the world of finance. So they checked several things on this list. Then they'd like to know about eliminating debt, maximizing savings. They need to know if they need to get a will or a trust in place. They also want to get done with their mortgage as soon as possible, because and they also need some life insurance and would like to have some asset protection. Here, what they did is they listed their debts. As you can see, they got a $460 balance on their Visa card, a $2,400 medical bill, a Discover card, some furniture debts, one car, and a mortgage. They do have some savings. They have about $6,000 in cash in an emergency savings account, and they've been making contributions of $3,600 a year into their 401k. They own their house, which they think will go up in value because they're finishing up the basement. So, principle number 2: when we began to work with Mark and Joyce, we asked them to fill a spending plan out, and they really grabbed into this principle and focused on tracking their spending. They kept track of every penny they spent and who spent it, because when you track your money, you control it, right? Two things in life never works. You guys know what those? It's diets and budgets. Diets, I know it doesn't work because I've been through several diets, and I lose pounds, 20 pounds in 3 months, and I lose 20 pounds in a month. Why? Because they are always telling you what you can't do, right? They are always telling you what you can't do. So we, on the other hand, believe in showing folks how to spend money effectively. Well, we do that by collecting a minimal amount of information, like we did here with Mark and Joyce. To get this clear picture, you need a spending plan and a tracking system so you can track all your expenses according to that plan. By tracking how much you spend and then comparing to what's left to spend with what you have planned to spend, you can see where certain impulse purchasing needs to be curbed or where new spending habits needs to be developed. It's an NBA season right now. I was watching the Warriors game yesterday. It was nerve-wracking, but you know that multi-billion-dollar sports associations know the value of tracking. You guys know that, right? The NBA, the NFL, and other clubs keep very close track of its athletes playing statistics. So when it comes time to trade or negotiate contracts, they will know the value of that player. So tracking is very important. Tracking is very important in the same way as just as vital to individuals when it comes to personal spending. Tracking, it reveals your personal habits and behaviors that may need to be changed. And best of all, it liberates you from the ineffectiveness of the budget. Tracking makes spending more pleasurable while helping you stay in control. By looking at how you spend money over a specific period and then comparing that against what you have left to spend in each area of your life, you will see patterns develop that will help you make different decisions about how you will spend money going forward. In fact, like if you look at the slide, like the $300 Mark and Joyce found, we generally find an average of 1% gross income that's wasted. And I'm very guilty of this. I have Netflix, Amazon Prime, Spotify, YouTube TV, Disney Plus. These are expenses that's going out of my budget, and I don't even use all of those every day. So if you talk to a family, you will help them. I'm sure you will help them find money that's being wasted every single month. Principle number 3. Principle number 3 is what they call the savings is actually delayed spending. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? This is important because we know that emergencies come up and emotional spending comes up. So here's how we use principle number 3. If we have like $100 left at the end of the month, and we see that by doing the spending planner, we will be able to have some money left at the end of the month. As a matter of fact, in our experience, the average family will have $300 to even as much as $500 that just disappears every month until they start tracking their spending. Of course, when they start tracking their spending, the money no longer disappears and we can use this found money for savings. You know how you can force your money? You know how you can force yourself to save money? It's by making saving as an expense. It's something that you have to do, right? So what I would like you to do is you divide your savings using the 60-20-20 rule. 60% of your savings goes to for long-term savings, 20% for emergencies, and 20% for emotional savings. Again, you cannot avoid emotional spending, so you need to make sure that you put some money on that for savings to use for those emotional spendings and later. Record the planned savings amount as separate categories in your spending plan. Then each month, pay yourself first by transferring funds to a saving account for emergency and emotional spending. In the long-term savings category, record the amount withheld from your paycheck and deposited for you in the 401k each month, or that, or if you have or you can personally deposit it in an IRA or other long-term retirement savings fund that you have. If you are having trouble finding money for emergency and emotional savings, be sure to examine your long-term savings amount to see if you need to back off on 401k or IRA deposits in order to find money that can be spent for these categories. It is very important that you set aside money for emergencies and emotional savings. Begin saving at least 1% of your income every month. Okay, so every person can save at least 1% by carefully planning spending amounts. To save 1% of a 3,000 or 4,000 monthly income, you only need to put away $30 to $40 a month. I think that is very manageable, right? I hope you guys will agree. Then each month you are able increase that savings by another 1%. So you start at 1%, then increase it to 2, 3, and so forth until you are saving 10% or more. Like I said, pay yourself first. So if you can save 10% of your income for your future, do that, right? So continue to use your savings category amounts as a means of making savings an expense. I'm telling you, it will work. Principle number 4 is one of my favorite principles. Principle number 4 is power down your debt and power up your fortune. I'm going to teach you how to use liabilities. I'm going to teach you how to turn liabilities into assets. Because getting out of debt is like removing a 2-ton weight from your shoulders. When you live this principle, you can make fantastic progress toward your financial dreams and become part of an elite group that chooses the opportunity to pay themselves rather than others. The idea here is that the idea here is that the more money we can take away from the institutions that we pay interest to and we put back into our hands, the better off we are going to be. And this can have an amazing impact, as you'll see in a minute when I show you what we were able to do for Mark and Joyce. The same thing, incidentally, that we propose the 10 principles will do for you. So let's take a look at what Mark and Joyce are currently doing. As you can see in the slides, after adding up all their debts, they were paying $2,177 a month, right? When they added up all their debts, they said it came to $179,352.71, which is a lot, right? But their real debt is $374,000 and change. And the difference between those two numbers is $194,000. That's $194,000 more than they thought they were paying in debt. And the reason that they are paying so much more is because of the interest going out to all those institutions. The Visa, the medical, the Discover card, the furniture loans, the auto loans, the home loans. Do you remember all that 34% in interest we looked at earlier on the funnel page? Well, that's how much it adds up into their life. 34% of our income goes to paying off debts. So what we did is we prepared a report to show Mark and Joyce, simply to say, hey, look at this. And of course, they were shocked at what they saw. Frankly, we find that most people we show this to are shocked when they see how much their own interest adds up to. But it happens to be true not only for Mark and Joyce, but also sadly for most of Americans. It is why America can get itself on track financially. That's a total of $194,000 in interest payments. That's a lot of money, wouldn't you agree? Right? What if I could show you how you can put a good portion of that money back in your pocket? So let's look at what Mark and Joyce could be doing right now. Right? They can use their debt to produce wealth. They can turn their liabilities into assets. So here we will show you how to power down your debt with accelerator payment. So here we will show you how Mark and Joyce using the found money as the accelerator payment. Remember that spending plan that I showed you they did? Well, when they completed theirs, just like most couples nationally that find $300 to $600 a month is getting transferred out of somewhere. You know, when Mark and Joyce track their spending, they produce about $300 a month of found money that just get lost every single month. But they found it just simply by planning their spending and tracking their money. So what they did is they chose to apply the $300 to paying down their debts. So this page shows you the $300 as an accelerator payment, or what we call as power payment. By committing another $300 a month to their debt repayment, it is speeded up everything, getting them out of debt in 7 years instead of 29. Imagine saving 22 years. And instead of paying $194,000 in interest, they will only be paying about $50,000 in interest. That's $144,000 saved in interest alone. Now, look at this. This is the best part. If after the 8 years are up and they are completely out of debt, they can continue to pay $2,400 a month into savings at the end of the next 20 years. And at the end of the next 20 years, they would have about $1 million in savings. I know that when you look at this, it's like unbelievable that this can even happen. Funny thing is that even though normal everyday people have been using the benefits of compound interest for a long time, there's still a lot of people who just don't understand how powerful it can be. So let me go back over this briefly and explain how we get this power payment and the accelerator. You can see the Visa payment was $55 and it was going to be paid up in 2 months, right? So we added, instead of paying $55, we are paying $300 on the Visa, right? We found the $300, right? So when that was paid up, we used that $55 to add to our payment $300, and we were going to pay up the Visa. And then after that, we're going to pay the medical and dental bill, and that's going to be paid up in 6 months. And that will free up the $200 along with the $55 and produce a payment of $555 on the Discover card. I hope you guys are following. Now we pay off the furniture, add that on the $555, which brought us to $851, which then is paid against auto loan. And that, of course, got paid to the house payment. So all we did was take the debt and move it down to the next debt, and then move it on to the next debt. This is what we call a snowball effect, right? So we added the payment on the previous debt, and we added to the payment to the next one. So we are accelerating the payment. So you remember the $300 they found in the spending plan? Adding that, we get the debts paid up even faster by using the $300 payment. Now, make sure you don't miss this. If you look at the impact of adding the $300 of debt repayment and then continuing to add it to the savings once the debt is paid up, it's as if they had started saving $2,477 a month right now. Do you think they could do that? Could they take $2,477 out of their budget to put in their retirement savings? Not now, they probably couldn't, but that's the power of the $300 fund money. It's the equivalent of taking 2,477 a month, putting it in a savings for 20 years to reach the $1 million. The point here, of course, is that you have debt that you can power down, and we can show you how to do that without any cost out of your pocket, and that will accomplish a lot. Experience has taught us that if you do the spending planner and tracking, which we strongly encourage all our clients to do, you'll find some money for an accelerator. The bottom line is we can usually find more money that will accelerate even faster, which is what most folks get excited. As you can imagine, when we showed Mark and Joyce this, they were very excited. So how do you feel about this? If this was you and you knew that you can get out of debt in 7 years and have the options of continuing the program and having over $1 million retirement versus a national average of $60,000, how would that make you feel? So let me ask you the question we asked them again. So what are the two financial things that you would like to have that you don't have right now? Most people say they would like to have more time and more money to enjoy life. The really great thing is that's exactly what this plan does. That's why this is so great. Most financial advisors concentrate on the 3% that most people can save in their lifetime, saying something like, move your money over to me to manage and help you get a better return on your investment. However, what we really need to be working on is on the 34% to 40% that's going out. Our programs and solutions does just that, helping you more interest back into your pocket. That gets us to principle number 5. Principle number 5 is know the rules. You must know the rules of money. You must know the rules of how money works. We know the rules about all sorts of other things like sports, how our TVs work, and take the dice in this slice in this picture, right? For instance, you see a 2, a 5, a 4. Without any doubt, we know that on the other side there is a 1, a 3, and a 6, right? But to retire well, we really need to know the rules of money and how the money works. The challenge is that we also need to know principle number 6. And what is principle number 6? You have to understand that the rules are always changing. To know this allows you to maintain control over financial uncertainty, doubt, and fear. It is about changing how you deal with the frustration of all this uncertainty so that you can anticipate and adapt more easily. Becoming a part of a select group of people who accelerate their financial progress. So I'm not going to talk about all this changing in tax, in tax law, but every year it seems like there's a new tax law, right? Of course, we hope that when you sit down with your tax advisor or your financial planner every year, that they probably go over those rule changes with you to keep you informed. They probably have you on path already to get out of debt. Is that correct? Well, one of the things we do is to keep track of the changes that are going on and make sure that we are up on those so we can advise people that are working with us. So how does your financial advisor keep you up to date now? Principle number 7: always look at the big picture. You should always look at the big picture. This brings balance into your life because living this principle helps you know where you want to go financially and how to get there. It will give you a wonderful feeling to have a plan for your future and the power to work the plan, entitling you to financial hope, growth, and opportunity. See, if I am going to Texas, or I'm going to Hawaii, or I'm going to California, I'll take a different routes to get there, right? So I must know where I'm going in order to know what route to take, right? Well, it's important to look at the big picture when you're trying to get out of debt or when you are trying to save for retirement. You need to have a plan, a roadmap of how you're going to do it. And it needs to show the day that you'll be completely out of debt with your projections of what you'll have for retirement. So the question now is, what's your definition of retirement? How much do you think you will have monthly? And what age do you think you'd like to retire at? Retiring is a matter. It's not a matter of age. It's a matter of how financially ready you are, right? Do you have a specific plan in place to accomplish that? You might remember that Mark and Joyce didn't have a plan in place. They couldn't tell me when they were going to be out of debt. So, of course, they also couldn't tell what their retirement was going to look like for sure, right? So, it sure would be good to know all those things, though, wouldn't it, right? Principle number 8 is organizing your finances enables the creation of additional wealth. Let me read that again. Organizing your finances enables the creation of additional wealth. Are your finances organized like this? Most people have a drawer or file just like this at home where all the important stuff is. The will probably is important, so it's in the drawer. Your power of attorney is there. Maybe a living trust and contracts for a couple of things that you ought to read, but you haven't gotten around to it yet. So organizing your finances enables the creation of additional wealth. Excuse me. When you are organized financially, you are more likely to have something to leave your loved ones. A systematic approach to finances eliminates the uncertainty about how to organize your estate and helps you maintain it worry-free. This principle simplifies estate planning, taking the mystery out of setting up wills, trusts, medical directives, etc. This looks better, right? Well, our job is to help you get organized, to get your assets organized based on a real important thing, and that is how they can be taxed. This, of course, is important because different kinds of assets are taxed in all kinds of different ways. You've got tax accounts, you got tax-free accounts, you got tax-deferred accounts. There's capital gains taxes and probably even a tax you haven't heard of yet. Now, let me ask you a painful question. You guys ready? Do you guys think that taxes are going up, or do you think they will stay the same? Most people I talk to thinks the taxes is going to go up. Principle number 9. Understanding taxation enables you to retain more of your money. Again, let me read that again. Understanding taxation enables you to retain more of your money. So let's take a look at this $10,000 investment at 12%. Yes, I'm being generous. 12%, working with an average tax rate of 22%. So when we have $10,000 at 12%, we think it should grow to $930,000. But after 40 years, it would only be around $322,000 because of all the taxes we have to pay along the way. So what we really need to do is to understand, what we really need to do is to understand that it does make a difference how we take our money out when we retire, and how we accumulate the money while we're working. So now let's take a look at this comparison. A $10,000 investment for 28 years at 7% interest and a $25,000 tax, 25% tax rate. See, this is what your account would be worth: about $42,000 in taxable investment, $50,000 in tax deferred investment, just like your 401k, 403b. But look, $66,000 in a tax free investment. It is clear that knowing the different ways assets can be taxed and getting started taking advantage of them early on in life is a really good way to make sure your retirement is going to be what you want it to be when you get there. Principle 10. We are the last principles of money mastery. And principle 10 is saying that money in motion creates more money. It's a fact of life that you can get your money to do more than one thing at a time, thus creating more wealth with which to build your financial future. You can always be in control of your money. So if you are tired of making the same financial mistakes, it is not too late to learn the magic of this principle. You can put your money to work for you to make you more money. Many before you have done it, and so can you, right? So there are a lot of places that you can put money, but here's the thing. Here's the thing we want you to make sure you do. Make sure that your money works harder than you work. Frankly, if you don't have everything you want financially now, either you're going to have to work harder or your money will have to work harder. So in this graphic, do you guys know how the banks make money? Right? We put our money and then they loan out our money, right? So in this graphic, we see where you put your money into a bank, right? Or a financial institution. Let's say $1,000. Okay. Guess what? That's right. They only pay you about, probably 1% in interest. But in this example, we'll be generous. We'll use 2% for this example. Now, do you know that under the Federal Reserve System, for every $1 you put on deposit, the bank can lend 7 times that amount, plus charge a higher rate than what they are paying you. Let's see what this really adds up to be. So bank lends out for the car at 6%, and then they get paid back, right? Then 7% for the house, and then they get paid back. Then 10% for the TV and gets paid back. 8% for a new boat and gets paid back. And then last 18% for a Visa card and gets paid back. Right? So they get all this interest. And if you add up all the interest, and then the bank is the big winner here, right? They are gaining, they just gain about 49% interest from that $1,000, while you get a measly 2%. So let me ask you a question. Would you prefer to be the bank in this scenario or the person depositing? What if you could build your own personal bank? Let me ask you that again. What if you can build your own personal bank? Right? So let me show you an example of having your own bank, right? Let's assume you have $30,000 in your own private bank, which we can show you, how to build. Okay. On the other hand, you have the option to take out a loan from a bank down the street. Here's what it would look like, right? Let's say you want to borrow money from the bank. They will give you a 5% interest rate in a 4-year loan with the monthly payments of $460 a month. So what ends up happening is you will end up paying $5,520 in loan payments back to the bank the first year. At the end of the year, you will still owe $15,367. So in this scenario, you borrow $20,000 to buy a truck. and the $460 a month, and after first year you will still owe $15,000 in change. On the other hand, you borrow money from your own private bank. So you pay $20,000 for the truck, right? You pay it off and start making the payments back to your own bank at the same rate. After 1 year, your bank would be back up to $50,000, 520, right? So if you borrow $20,000 from your 30,000, you're left with $10,000. But after paying the $5,520 per year, your balance now went back up to 15,520. So let's look at year two. In the second year, let's say you want to buy a boat with that new truck, right? You can borrow the money from the bank, but maybe they won't give you a good rate because your debt to income is higher now that you just borrowed for the truck. So they charge you 10% interest rate. On the other hand, your private bank would not have those restrictions. After making the scheduled payments on the boat and the truck, you still owe $18,000 to the bank. And now your private bank you have a balance of $14,000, right? So on the flip side, on the bank side, you owe $18,000, but if you borrow it from your private bank, you actually have $14,000 left in your private bank. So let's see what happens in year three. So I hope you guys are following up, and I'm not confusing you. So in year three, your old TV goes out, and you need to buy a new one. You want that 4K high definition 80-inch TV and a wireless sound system. So you go to the bank to take out another line of credit, or the better option is use your private bank. So we will assume you make the payments in either scenario. At the end of year three, you owe $12,000 on your boat, truck, and TV. In your private bank scenario, you have 21,616. It's going back up. Why? Because you're paying it back to your own bank, right? So let's see what happens in year four. In year four, you don't need to make any, let's say in year four, you don't need to make any new major purchases. And at the end of the year, everything will be paid off: the truck, the boat, and the TV. If you borrowed from the bank and credit lenders, you would have paid everything off and paid about $4,300 in interest payments, right? For a loss of $4,300. Maybe it's acceptable loss to borrow the money. But if you borrowed from your own bank, you would have gotten all your money back and made $4,344 in interest. Plus, we didn't even count the interest you would have made on the money sitting in the back over those 4 years. I hope you guys following this, because this is very exciting, very important. So what just happened? Well, with your private bank, you were able to get $36,000 worth of goods, and you now have $34,000 in your private bank, plus interest you would have made over that 4-year period. You would have used $30,000 to finance $36,000 worth of goods and made a greater amount of interest in the process. Perhaps this sounds confusing. It's really pretty simple to start and fund your own personal bank with just a little help. And we can help you do it just like we help Mark and Joyce. See, the beauty of having your own bank is you make the rules, not the bank. Even if you have the worst credit, if it's your own bank, there's no credit checks, no applications, no loan denials, no collateral, no approval process. Because why? It's your money. It has liquidity, it grows tax deferred, it comes out tax free. You can use it as a collateral. And the best thing also, and one of the benefits of having your own bank is it has disability benefits, and it's tax-free transfer to heirs. Let me read it again. It's tax-free transfer to your heirs. So that was Mark and Joyce. And what about you? Right? So Well, that was all built of Mark and Joyce numbers, right? But the 10 principles can work for you too. So what about you? Would you like to be Mark? Would you like to be like Mark and Joyce? Would you like to have all your debt paid off in 10 years or less? Would you like to save and grow hundreds of thousands of dollars for your retirement? And would you like to cut the middleman and be your own bank and make your money grow? If we can design a plan, a solution that is specific to you that pays off all your debt in 10 years or less, including your home, while adding hundreds of thousands of dollars to your retirement account without asking you to spend any more than you're currently spending each month, is there a reason you wouldn't want to move forward and see what your plan would look like? So I want to end my presentation with this. Every financial success starts with a goal. Every successful goal starts with a plan. And every successful plan starts with education. Exertus Financial Partners provides the education and tools to successfully complete your plan to its goal of eliminating debt, increase savings, and providing the peace of mind of understanding on how you can get there. Thank you guys. It's been wonderful. I hope you guys learned something. And we look forward to hopefully we can meet you here through Zoom. We can also meet you in person. But thank you so much for listening to us. And this will be a week-long financially fearless challenge. So I hope you guys will tune in every single day and pick up something that will help you in your life and in your financial situation. Thank you, guys.
All right, Alan, thank you so much for doing that. I hope you guys got a lot of input on that. Go ahead and put it in the chats, put it in the comments, guys. Let Alan know, what you guys thought about his training and how it helped you. And go ahead and apply those 10 principles, right? You're going to apply those 10 principles. Now, what I'm going to share with you guys is I'm going to go ahead and talk next about what's going on. My name is Joe Rhino Rivas, guys, and I'm excited to be here with you. I've been in the industry 20 years, and what we're doing about teaching people how money works, right? And what I found out through all my years is all of that comes into play with two things, and we're going to talk about that right now. And one of them is really about um, we're gonna really talk about. Let me just click on this here. Your relationship with money, right? What is your money relationship? That's what I'm wondering about. That's what I'm excited about. Let me see if I can get this to show up here because this is amazing, right? And understanding how money works, right? But really what it comes down to is what's your relationship with money, right? That's a big question. Most people don't really even think about this. They really don't even go on to talk about it or don't understand what it really means. But all of us have a relationship with money. And before I really go on to get started, I just want to give a shout out to the MDC, the Modern Day Crusaders. Also want to give a shout out to Hawaii for their grand opening that they had this weekend. Very proud of that organization out there, the team out there in Hawaii. Love you, Ohana. And then also want to give a shout out to our team out in Vegas that had a great big event this weekend. Just adding more and more value to communities is incredible. Now they're going to be able to take this value and really reach out to your communities everywhere, wherever you're at. What's your relationship with money? Ask you personally, think about this. I want you to think about it. What is my relationship with money? And believe me, when I tell you a relationship with money means a lot, because these are the two main relationships that people have with money, right? Number one, you make it. And number two, you spend it, right? And then you got to think, well, yeah, I know those two relationships, right? But you're locked into one or two of these, right? And there's other relationships too out there with money, but I want to talk about these two because these are the ones that people most relate to is make money and spend money. You can go around and look at all the people and you know the people that know how to make money, and then you also know the people that know how to spend money, right? But I want to break it down a little bit more. Let's look at make money, right? And I told you we're going basic, so I'm using basic stuff here because in the simplicity, right? In the simplicity, you'll find the major breakthroughs, right? Most people believe that you work, put in the hours, and you make the money, right? Most people believe that, right? It's you put in work equals dollars, right? That's what most people think. But what if the truth was that you work, put in the hours, but the company that you work for or your job is making the dollars? Because if you think about it, that's exactly what happens, right? So think about that. You're working hard, and with your work, the company or the job, wherever you're at, is the one that makes the money. And then the company pays you what your position is worth. So the job pays you what you're worth, and that's how you get your money. So the company may be getting the big money, but you get your money and where you're at. You guys, I'm sure you guys get that, right? Put it in the comments. Let me know you got that. You understand that most people think that, hey, I'm going to work, and I get all this money. But really what it is you work. The place where you work for gets all this money, and then they decide what you're worth and what your position is worth, and that's where you get your payment, your salary, your hourly wage, whatever it is. Because that's the reality, guys. That's the reality, and you have to understand that to understand how money works and why people have businesses and why people have jobs available that most people go 9 to 5 to every day, because it's how money works. See, they know if they can get a lot of people's efforts, right, to create the money coming in, then what they can decide is what those positions work for, how much they are, right? How much each position can get so that they can pay you what they believe that's worth so that they can turn around and they keep the profits. And that's how a company grows and a company moves forward and hires more people and everything. So if you guys are in this, I guess you could say disillusional state of not understanding that that's how jobs work, you need to know that, because that is the relationship to money. See, entrepreneurs, they go out there and they say, hey, if I can get a business going, if I get up and running, the more people I can help getting me grow this, the more income can come in. But then I have to decide what positions, what sales positions, administration positions, that what it's worth to the company, right? So that the company can still be profitable. That's really how money works, guys. All of you guys that go to 9 to 5 jobs and everything, yes, that's why. But that's why sometimes people go, you know what? I work hard at this job. I work, and I still get paid the same. And then that's why others say, you know what? I still get paid the same, so I'm not even going to work hard. I'm just going to half, it all the way through, because I still make the same amount of money. That is a relationship to money. That is understanding how you make money. Now, in understanding how you make money, right, you're always exchanging your hours for what they think you're worth. So how many of us in here, guys, have a full-time job, 40 hours a week? I bet you not all of us, right? Most of us now, because of everything that's happening, right? Most of us now, with everything happening, are cut back to part-time, 32 hours or less. So I want you guys to realize this, right? Your job, 9 to 5, is out there, right? They're cutting back these jobs, right? They're telling you what you're worth. Sometimes they're saying, you know what? We believe that this position is even worth less than what we were paying you. So we either have to move on with you, let you go, or we're gonna have to cut back pay because things are happening out there, which is understandable. There's a lot of things going on tax wise, economic wise, inflation. Everything is going up. Companies are making less and less money, so they're not able to offer more and more jobs. Don't get me wrong. When a company is good, capitalism is great, because they offer people jobs. They offer what we're doing. But I just want you guys to realize what that relationship to money, of making money, is. What most people believe they're making money is, right? So I want you to understand that, hey, exchanging your hours for what other people think is worth, I would throw something out there to say, hey, what if you could exchange your hours for what you thought you were worth? What numbers would that be? What kind of income would you be at that point? Where would you be in your mindset is if you could control the kind of money that you want to make? What if you just said, you know what, this month I'm exchanging these amount of hours. Let's say you exchange 20 hours and I want to get paid $1,000 an hour. Right? So this month I want to make $20,000. Do you have the capability of doing that where you're at? No, the boss will probably tell you, you go and tell the boss, listen, boss, this month I want to make $20,000. He'll probably say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and send you in for a drug test. Go ahead and pee in this little cup here because they're going to say you're smoking. Right? But what if you had the opportunity to change your relationship with making money? What if your relationship with money and making money turns into a relationship between you and that dollar personally, to where you're going to determine what you can do, how much you can make, where you're going to be, where you're going to live, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you have, what kind of lifestyle your family's going to have. What about your kids? What kind of college do they go to? Are they going to go to college? Are they going to go to a different type of school like programming? Are they going to go become engineers? You have that control of being able to understand that relationship with making money. Now, I know people are thinking, well, I'm not sure. I don't know how I can do that. That's okay, because we have a roadmap for you. And we can show you how to do this part in your spare time, to go into part-time, right? So we believe that we can show you a way to change your relationship with making money in your spare time that allows you to go into part-time with us and then be able to go full-time to buy back your time and tell yourself what you're worth. That's what we can do. Now, it's incredible to think, and sometimes people might think, man, that's impossible. But I'm telling you, people do it every day. I'm telling you, we have success stories every day that are popping up, not just in our industry, not just with our agency, not just with around in the financial world, but in everywhere else where people decided to go ahead and change the relationship with making money, right? The relationship with money and making money to owning their own business, owning their own side hustle. How many people have a job, but also a side hustle? Almost everybody today, whether it be online, whether it be baking, cooking, which are right now, ironically, two of the most popular, right, is baking, cooking, and selling that stuff on the side. People understand that there needs to be a change. And understanding, and let's go back to this one, understanding that if you put in the work, you want to, that it's totally 100% possible. 100% possible. That's what's incredible with what we're doing. And really just teaching people, right, how money works, and the relationship for money will change everything. Everything, it'll change. The minute you have that relationship change with money. Now, I tell you this because I was in this boat. I was there. My relationships with money were bad. And then you're asking, well, how can you be a financial person? How can you teach people how money works? How can you teach people how to make money? Because I've been there with you. I can relate to everything you've been through. In my 53 years on earth, I'm telling you guys, I've been able to experience a lot of bad things, a lot of mistakes that I can now teach on so that you don't make the same ones. See, most people believe, oh, how can I teach making money when, I really don't even know how to either. And I always tell them, great, learn how with us so that you can turn around and tell people your story and how it's changing your lives. Because most people can relate to us. See, people will listen to multi-billionaires and billionaires out there. They're listening to what I'm saying, but you know what they'll say? Oh, that's just Elon Musk. He was, he must have been lucky, or he must have grew up good. He must have done this. He must have done that. Because you try to excuse yourself from even thinking that you can be like him. And I'm here to kind of get in the face of yours and say that you could be like him, even where you're at right now. Because it all starts with understanding your relationship with money and changing it. It's so funny. I ask people, do you know what money really is? Do you know what a dollar really is? Have you guys ever read a dollar, right? Have you guys ever read what it says on there, right? And I have a dollar right here, right? And if you look at it, it's a dollar, right? And it says this note is a legal tender for all debts, public and private. This is just a piece of paper, guys, right? That the government backs up the value on to exchange for trade, barter, goods, or anything that you want. That's all it is. It's just a piece of paper. But because it's a legal tender, meaning that whatever this number is on the side, that's what the value is. So it's like a promissory note. When you look at it, you're going, okay, this is what it is. Okay. Right? Made in 2017. So this one was made in 2017. So when you understand that this is just a note, so what really is money? Money is the power of having that legal number, everything that you have, the tender of being able to buy power, right? To have the buying power that you need, right? For a lot of things. Style, lifestyle, right? Where you live, your home, owning a home or renting a home. All of these things come from that little piece of paper that you have to have a relationship with. That's where it gets pretty crazy, because most people don't understand that, and they go on through life never understanding that, and then they're not able to change the way their relationship is. Back in the days, it used to be that it was actually gold that gave the paper the value, right? So the paper was backed up by gold. Nowadays, the paper is not backed up by gold. It's backed up by the government saying that the value is there. So that's why when you do that and you say that, that's why we can print more money. Because we're saying whatever money we print, whatever money we have out there, that's what the value is. So we're saying that you can have that value. So that what happened in the pandemic, right? During the 2 years of the pandemic, when everything was shut down and all these things were happening, the Fed Reserve, the government was able to print more money in those 2 years than we ever did in all United States history. I want you guys to understand this, because you need to understand the relationship with money. printed more money in the last 2 years than ever in all of United States history. And the reason why is because our money's not backed by gold anymore. So we didn't have to have that amount of money in gold back there to say, hey, we're going to print up another $2 trillion or $20 trillion or whatever it was that we printed, the exact number. We didn't have to have it. So we were able to do it. So in relationship with money, things happen because of printing, because of money coming out. Things happen like inflation, right? So you're working hard for your money, but now your money doesn't have the buying power that it used to have. And I know this because I have kids. We have a household. We go grocery shopping. I know you guys are out there grocery shopping, and you go and buy some eggs, right? That was the biggest thing, right? Everybody was posting about the eggs. They used to be $4 a dozen. Now they're $9 a dozen, right? But yet they only say inflation's at 8%. Well, $4 a dozen, $9 a dozen, that's not 8% inflation. Cost of goods go up. Cost of everything anywhere now goes up. It used to be, it used to be the $5 was you would be able to get a lot of things for $5, right? That was the new 20, right? All of a sudden the 20 became the new $5. It was backwards. Right? So now when you spent 20, it was like spending $5, right? Now a 20 is the new 100. So if you spend 20, it's like you should spend $100. It's like that because you can't buy nothing for $20. That is what we're going through, guys. That's where everything is right now. And what I want you to guys do is please put it in the chat box right now. Put it in the comments. Put it out there and let us know if you're feeling what I'm talking about. Let us know if you're even have the relationship of making money or spending money, right? Because we're going to go over the other one right now too. But put it out there. Show people out there what's happening. Tell people what's happening out there, that it's not just me that's saying it, that you guys are also feeling it. So when we go back to our presentation here, let me get back to the presentation, right? So let's go to, we all know about exchanging hours for what they think they're worth, right? So we just talked about that. We went through it all, right? Now let's talk about spend money, right? Spend money, the relationship of spending money. I got to be honest with you. I have a strong relationship with spending money, right? I've always had it when I was a young kid. Spending money was like that. That's like my joy, right? And it's unfortunate because I took a quiz about it, when I was studying about what I was going to talk to you guys about and just thinking about what was really needed out there. I went out and I took all these quizzes. By the way, you guys go on Google and take money quizzes like money personalities and find out who you are. And I found out that my personality as money spending was Hito. I can't even remember the name now. But basically it said, no amount of money is going to get in the way of you accomplishing what you want. Meaning I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make the money to do what I want to do, right? And I could see that. I could see that. On a couple other ones, it said that I love spending more money than saving money, right? A couple other ones said I like spending way more money than making money, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to change a little bit about my relationship with money. But let's look at spending money, right? And this one kind of hits closer to home because these are some of the top reasons why people spend money. And you might look at them and go, what do you mean? Why is it like this? But let's go over them, then we'll talk about it, right? So top reasons why people spend money, right, is they grow up in a scarcity household, right? They grow up in a scarcity household. Some of us grew up in different times, and that's okay, right? But it still relates to our relationship with money. Number two is grew up wanting what others had. Some of us grew up in very humble homes, but we had neighbors or we had, other family members or anything that always had like stuff that, man, we wanted that, it's like I tell the joke, when I was growing up, I love my mom to death. She was a single mom. She took care of us. I understand what it is now that I was a parent. I understand. But man, I remember back in the days, I wanted those Nikes, man. I wanted Nikes. I was like, those are the ones I wanted. I wanted Nikes, and I got Psyches, right? I got Sykes, right? And it was like, oh man, and I remember back in the days, but hey, I was appreciated with it. But man, I did grow up, right? Wanting those Nikes, wanting the other side, right? I had big, number 3, having bigger dreams. Sometimes, even surrounding us, our family surrounding us and everything, their dreams are done. They stop dreaming. So their dreams is, hey, I just go to work and it's hard labor work. Sometimes it's like labor intensive, like physical labor work that they go do. Work in the fields, go do all these other things, and then come back home, and they're just happy with doing that. And they're just happy, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as their goals and dreams are met, that's what it is. But sometimes people have bigger dreams. I know I did. I always had bigger dreams. I've always said that I wasn't built to fit in. I do things different. I'm not built to fit in. I mean, my nickname is Rhino. How does that fit in with everybody else? Just doesn't. I was born to stand out. And I've always had that feeling on myself. But it still relates to all of these things here. What about number 4, always being told no? How many of you guys out there were being told no growing up? Put it in the comments right there. Share with everybody. How many of you were always being told no? Right? Oh, mom, I want that. Nope. Oh, I want nope. What about this one? Oh, if you ask me again, we're going to go over to the car and then you're not going to like it. I got that one, right? So number 5 is really big. It's a sad emotion connected to money. Sometimes people, our parents, they tell you, oh, to have money, it's bad, right? All the rich are bad. It says in the Bible that to have money is bad, and I'm here to tell you that, no, if you research it and look into it, it does not say that. It does not say that. It says the love of money is bad. The love of money is the root of all evil, right? Remember, the rich provide jobs. Most of the time, the rich provide the jobs that our parents go to work to that always say the rich are bad. So if we were bad, then they wouldn't even give us the jobs that people were going out there and working. It's just a different mindset of what we do. It's just a different mindset, right? And humbling is right. I see Sydney Serrano talking about being told no is truly humbling. Absolutely. But that's when we're older. When we're little kids, it's not about humbling. It's like you just wanted what you wanted and you didn't get it, right? So you're about to, go and throw yourself on the floor and start screaming and all that stuff. That's just what happens. But all of that stays with us in the mindset. So when you're looking at the top reasons why people spend, maybe it's because now they're starting to make some money and they're going, you know what? I'm going to get all the things I never got when I was a kid. Or you know what? I'm going to make sure all my kids have all the things I didn't have. Or you know what? I just want to do this because when I couldn't, it didn't make me feel good. But now I can feel good. See, spending money becomes a habit, right? And we know that habits are very hard to break. But understanding your relationship with this money, with this topic, is going to help you overcome everything you're trying to do. I like that. Financial tantrum. Yes, absolutely. Right? So I want you guys to understand that spending money it's not all bad, especially when you do it with some of the principles that Allan just talked about before, running the 10 principles that are out there. Understanding, budgeting your money, taking control of your money. But you got to know the emotional side behind it all. It's not just writing it down in the top 10 reasons and then you just read it. No, you have to be emotional about what you're doing. And most people, 99.9% of the people, make decisions, whether it's an impulse buy or an impulse save or putting money away or making money, all on emotions. Because if you can react emotionally, right, it's either going to go one way or the other. The key is control your emotions and kind of react based on your relationship with money and understanding, and hopefully your emotions now will be in more control. That's where it gets exciting for what we're doing, right? Gets excited for what we're doing. So let me ask you this question. What if you had a relationship with money working for you? See, most people only have those other two, right? Making money, working for it, or spending money because they get it. But what if you had a relationship with money working for you? Isn't that a great idea? Like, holy smokes, money working for me, right? Your money making money. So you right there with the little money turning into big money. Guys, let me tell you something. That's how the wealthy people do it. It's not that they take advantage of everybody. It's not that they do all these things that most people say because they don't have money. It's because they understand their relationship with money. They will know, right? They will know how to make their money work for them. That's what's incredible. And nowadays, most employers are teaching people how to make their money work for them. How are they doing that? Well, they have 401ks. Now, do they tell them exactly how it works? No, but they offer it, and that's money working for them, right? But the relationship of your money working for you and making money, man, that's a beautiful relationship to have, right? When it comes down to money. So I'm going to share with you the rule of 72. I'm going to give you something to kind of think about, right? Of your money making money for you. And I'm going to give you two scenarios, right? And yeah, these percentages may be a little high, but if you go over the history of the whole Wall Street, the whole stock market, you'll see that these are pretty low. These are pretty achievable, right? But we can't guarantee that in the last 10 years, because man, we've had so many ups and downs, and right now we're in the downs. But I still want to show you why people have this relationship of money making money. So let's just say the rule of 72. If you guys don't know what that is, this is the most powerful law of numbers known to man. And Albert Einstein said that people that understand the rule of 72 will have money work for them. People that don't understand the rule of 72 will work for others and their rule of 72. And this is where it's crazy because it's true. So what happens is the rule of 72 is you take 72 divided by the rate of return that you get on any investment. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's stocks, mutual funds, bonds, whatever it is. Get that interest rate that you're getting, the rate of return you're getting, and divided by 72. It tells you how long it takes your money to double, right? So let's just say, for instance, a 25-year-old, right? Which I've met a 25-year-old, by the way, who has about $100,000 in his Roth IRA already because he started at 18. Amazing what he's been able to do to create his money working for him. Somebody showed him that relationship, right? But at age 25, he takes $5,000, right? Puts it in a place that gives him a rate of return of 7.2%. Your money doubles every 10 years. Do the math, the formula. Every 10 years, your money doubles. So what does that look like? At 25, 5,000, 35, 10,000, 45, 20,000, 55, 40,000, 65, $80,000 he grew from that 5,000. Let me tell you something. That's your money making money for you while you're out there still making money. Did you get that? Your money making money for you while you're out there still getting money. That's incredible. Now let's take an example. What if you could find a place that gives you a rate of return over a certain amount of time for 14.4%? Divide that by 72, right? Now your money doubles every 5 years, not 10 years, right? 5 years, not 10 years. So now let's look at what you have. At 25, you're at 5,000, 30, 10, 20. Look at age 40, 40. Look at age 45, 80. And now it starts to really grow because this is the power of compounded interest, right? Age 50, 160. Age 55, 320. Age 60, $640,000. And then at age 65, right? $1,280,000. Guys, just by moving things around and having your money work for you and having your money double for you, it makes a difference of 80,000 or 1.2 million. Which one would you rather have? Any of them, because right now, most of us don't have our money working for us because we don't have that relationship. We don't. So what I'm trying to tell you is change your relationship with money. And how do you do that? By being financially educated, right? By being financially educated by some of our trainers, by some of our agents that we have, so that you understand all the options and solutions for you. Because there's tons of them. And it does not matter where you come from, does not matter the size of your income. It does not matter that you don't have tons of money and saving. Does not matter. What matters the most is you understand your relationship with money and you start something. Because most people, they think, oh, I don't have enough to start with. Oh, I have to be rich to start with that. Or I have to have so much money to start with that. They keep saying that, and the relationship with money never changes. And guess what? Now they're 60 years old going, man, I need to save money for retirement. I'm going to retire in 5 years. And what is the reality of that actually happening? I can tell you right now, guys, that we are on the precipice of the worst retirement crisis in United States history, or even to go as far as to say in the history of our world. We're in a top crisis right now. If you don't believe this, look it up all over the place. You'll see that right now, 42% of Americans will retire broke because they never changed their relationship with money, because they never changed their ideas of making money work for them. They only understand going to work for money and let the company pay for them and then spending the money because they get it every week or every 2 weeks. That's all they know. So I need you guys to understand, when you're looking at that, man, question everybody around you. What's your relationships with money? How does money work for you in your mind? Because if you're not sure, let me teach you, right? Or let me set you up an appointment with somebody, a specialist who could come in, a financial literacy coach that can teach you how money works so that you can make the decision to change your relationship with money. And everybody on here, whether you're already affiliated with Exertus or not, because I know we have tons of people on here, you guys need to know that you have to question your relationship, because that's going to make the difference between you winning and you losing. That's going to make the difference between you retiring with dignity or you going to have to work the rest of your retirement. And we already know, Forbes magazine says that over the next decade and a half, there's going to be a new norm for our seniors, for our elderly. They're going to be in the too frail to work, too poor to retire category. And that's why more and more companies are thinking of how to create more positions that, of course, they're going to determine what it's worth, right? For senior citizens to continue working like the greeters at Walmart, because they did not have a chance, or no one cared enough to teach them or to sit them down to show them all the solutions so that they can change their relationships with money. Guys, I'm just so blessed to be here. To God be all the glory that I was able to share with you all of this, that I've been through all of this, this part of changing your relationship with money, guys. It's an incredible, incredible feat of what we're doing right now. And I know that if you just take this on, and we're going to be doing more of these every day for the next week, we're going to be doing more and more coming through on this to teach you, right? To make sure you are financially literate of knowing what's going on. What are your options? What can I do? Man, I just want to be able to first find a budget first on this. But in order to do a budget, in order to really stick to it, you have to know the principles, right? You have to know the 10 principles, and then you have to know What is your relationship with money? Because from that point, you need to change your relationship so that you can apply those principles so that your budget starts to work for you, so that your growth of your money making your money starts to work for you. And that is our goal. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Give us a shout out on the comments, guys. Light it up. Put it out there for everybody to see. If you're learning, we're going to I'm also blessed to be in business with him. He's a partner with us, very strong in the Latino community, making a difference in the Latino community out there. It's incredible what this guy has been doing just the last year alone, but really what he's been doing just in the past 10 years in this industry. Please help me welcome, and hopefully he's coming on right now, Mr. Theo Ortiz. Are you there, Theo?
Yeah, bro. Thank you. How are you, bro?
All right. The call is
Awesome,
yours.
awesome. Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. Well, welcome everyone to the call. I'm excited today. It's a good Monday. I want to see some emojis for the early presenters. I mean, Joe and Alan did a great, incredible job. And if you guys took some notes, I mean, you can use those for the future for sure. I actually did took some notes from them that I can learn also. So very good. So I this is my first time using this kind of system. So let me see if I can uh, manage to share my screen. Okay, let's see. Because it's the first time that I do this with. Are you guys able to see the screen? The screen? Maybe not, huh? You cannot see the screen. Share. There you go. Hi. I think you should be able to see the screen. Let me know, please, because I don't want to be talking to myself. All right. So, well, before I go there, though, I want to welcome all of you here, and then today is a good day. It's a start of the week, and I'm in charge of talking to you guys about 5 key things to pay attention to. And today we actually learned from Alan. He spoke a little bit about taxes, which is so important. And then I heard Rhino. He spoke also about inflation. Those are actually key things to pay attention to, because a lot of times we really want to advance financially, and those are key things that we must pay attention to, because I'm gonna share with you some stuff in the later slides that you might get angry, honestly. And it's just because we not Alan spoke also about financial education is needed. There is no people that really teach this kind of um, strategies or solutions or help that whatever you want to call it. Okay, so my first one that we're going to start is with um, market risk. Take note of that, because it's very broad when we speak about market risk, but we must take in consideration why is the market moves so much, and why is happening, and if you're thinking of having a safe retirement, you must pay attention to this: the interest rate risk. Even though you want to learn this for personal use. Um, this is what happens in as a country, or as a as the world, how really works. But take your part to build your personal um, retirement in a way that will help you. So that there are different types of risk exposures that can arise when there is a change of interest rates, such as basis risk, options risk, term structure risk, and repricing risk. This is a little bit advanced, I would say, but if we are saving money for our retirement, sometimes we are taking these risks and we don't even know. That's why it's important to know all this stuff. Okay, so now another risk also is the equity price risk. Equity price risk. Equity price risk can be either systematic or unsystematic risk. Unsystematic risk can be mitigated through diversification, where areas systematic cannot be. In a global economic crisis, equity price risk is systematic because it affects multiple asset classes. This is telling us that we must watch out and diversify whatever we're doing. And why is this so important? Is because everybody that is working for a company, or what have you, they might be saving some money for retirement. And in many cases, they don't even know that this money has some kind of risk. And that's why I'm excited to work with Exertus Financial Partners, because we have those solutions that if people is open to listen and to really just explore the opportunity or the strategy or the solutions, they will know that this will help them if they will use them correctly as well, of course, right? But this is telling us that we must diversify. We must diversify. We must know what to do. Another kind of risk is if we go to a different country, our dollar might lose some money already, or we might gain some money already. That's another kind of risk also. It's a little bit out of your personal risk, but many times we don't even think about this. Currency risk or foreign exchange risk is a form of risk that arises when currency exchange rates are volatile. Global firms might be exposed to currency risk when conducting business due to imperfect hedges. And it's the same thing, no? We put in money in companies, and we don't know how they're using it. They exchanging with companies or from different countries. So all those could affect us, and we just sometimes don't think about that stuff. But market risk, write that down. So important. Before we put our money on just any account, we must know where it really is and how that is gonna affect us, and if that is that the GPS that we want to have to really have our good retirement, or should we diversify now So we still have the time for our money to grow. So market risk, that's number one. Um, Another kind of risk is commodity price risk, is the volatile in market price or the volatility in market price due to the price fluctuation of a commodity. Commodity risk affects various sectors of the market, such as the airlines and casino gaming. A commodity's price is affected by politics, seasonal changes, technology, and current market conditions. So it just depends on where we at. We might lose, we might gain, but we must know that we already, before that happens, we must know that that might happen. I know that a lot of people that work for companies, they don't even know. And that's the sad part. When they're ready to retire, they might have less because they must lose some money. Exertus Financial Partners can really help on that. I heard inflation. Joe Rhino Rivas talked about that. He touched on that. That's another key right there. We must, a dollar 5 years ago, doesn't have the same value as today. A lot of people say, okay, I'm gonna put my money in the bank. It's safe. Yes, it's safe, but it's losing. Why? Because inflation is going up and your dollar is not growing. That's why. Last year, the continued strength of the US dollar helped to shelter US consumers from higher prices of important goods. But that effect might be fading as the Fed's tightening cycle matures and the dollar depreciates. So right now we are in tough times, and we must know this, how to navigate this crazy road, no? So we must take in consideration that a lot of times, people has money in the banks. I don't say it's the worst thing that they can do, but it's hurting them for sure because they are losing money. Um, Services inflation could persist. And if you don't understand my English, it's okay. Just hang in there. Sooner or later, you will get it. While airline costs fell in the last consumer price index report, other factors could slow recent progress in curbing price pressures. These include structural labor shortage, strong owner-occupied housing and rent inflation, and resurgent medical services cost. Uh, like I said, right now, we just don't know. I heard so many things that is going around the world, and just everything keeps going up. Gas went up. When COVID happened and all that, then it went down a little bit, and right now where we are again, pretty much, over $5 a gallon, at least in California, is what it is right now. So we know for a fact that everything is just keeps going up. So let's take a look at that and how we can navigate inflation to serve us for our personal benefit. How can we do that? We must be informed, and we must, be financially educated to be able to navigate this. So just think about that. Another thing also, I would say, another risk that we are facing is this. We are living longer now, and the reality is, are we prepared for that? We all want to live long. right? We all want to live longer. That's what we want, really. Longevity risk is the possibility that you will outlive what you have in your investments, savings, pensions, annuities, and other sources of retirement income. You know, we like to live longer. Can we afford to live longer? We must plan if we want to do that, because we don't want to be, just left somewhere for someone else to take care of us. That is very sad. Uh, so that's another risk. So we have market risk, we have inflation risk, we have longevity risk. So those are the things, no? As you live longer, your retirement income must stretch out over a longer period of time. We have to plan for this, and if we don't do it now, it's so funny. Before, when I was just starting in this industry, I used to talk to people, and because I was trying to introduce them to what we do, because I know that what we do is something that there's no risk, and there's no in cases, if we do it right, tax free, right? It always depends, but Exertus does it right. So that's the key point right there. And I used to tell them, let's talk about retirement, and they used to tell me, oh, no, don't worry, I'm not ready to retire yet. I'm not 65. It's like everybody knows that you have to be 65 to retire. Baloney, because that's what Alan said also. You don't have to retire at 65, 67, 52, whatever. You want to retire when you're ready. When you're ready to retire, you have the enough money to retire, you do that. You're 20, you want to retire, let's do it. Right? You don't have to wait for those years, or set years to do it. So, but the thing is, are we prepared for that? So now we're living longer, and we must be prepared for that. The average life expectancy in the US for a female in 2022 was 82 years old. There has been a steady increase over the past 30 years in the average female life expectancy in the US. For some reason, maybe medicine, people are living longer now. What do we have to do? We have to be prepared for that. Now, in a male, in 2022, we have continued to see the same gains, with estimated the average life expectancy of a male is 78 years old. Somehow, we have to die first than the women. I don't know why, but it's how it is. This is what the studies has told us, and this thing we must know. We must know this, and we must be prepared to face the truth. And if we're not ready, a lot of people. What happened in 2010, 2009, 2010? That was based with what happened in the market, and we saw a lot of people coming back to work because they were not ready to really retire. But we must be ready. So longevity risk, we must take a note of that, and we must include that in our financial plan, no? This one is gonna hurt a little, all right? And this is a misnomer about this, because financial education is not taught in schools yet. I hope they do this, but people thinks that some, not everybody, when they are 59 and a half, they don't have to pay taxes. And that is dead wrong. We know it, you know. And how do I know? PhD. How some of our partners here know that? Because you don't have to go to school to know this. You have to be involved in a company that gives financial education, like Exertus Financial Partners. What I have learned being in this industry, what I have learned being an Exertus more, is that there's many people that don't know what's going on with taxes, because what happens, they ask their co-worker what they should do with their savings, and they, oh yeah, put it in a 401k or put it in whatever, right? So who are they asking for an advice? They're asking someone that don't even know either, or their cousins, or their parents for that matter. A lot of parents don't know either about that. So that's why the cycle keeps going and going and going, because we don't have enough financial educators to give this kind of information to people. Everybody should know about this part, so important, because it's good to pay taxes, but to a certain amount, to a certain point, to help the country. I'm all in for that. But in many cases, the leaders, they spend the money on whatever they think is good for them at that time and place. But is it really good for our personal? Is it really good? So that's what we have to think, and we have to ask ourselves. This part is so sad. Look at this. Low-income Americans face higher payroll taxes rates than rich Americans. And people get mad at rich people. It's not their fault. It's the system. Let's grab the system and let's walk with the system. It's not rich people's fault. I mean, why? But guess what? The good news is that all of us here can do what the rich people do if we apply this information. Americans with less than 5-figure incomes pay an effective payroll tax rate of 14.1%, while those making 7-figure income or more pay just 1.9%. How do you like that? Come and join Exertus, and we can learn all this information. How do you think I am learning? How do you think that other agents are learning? This is crazy good information. If you know, I'm telling you, average American do not know this, and they're always mad at the rich. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. They just know the rules, and they take advantage of the rules. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you take advantage of the rules if you knew the rules? The problem exists is that almost no one knows. And if no one knows, no one is going to teach. And they're going to teach it, or they would teach They will teach what they don't know. They will teach what they know, right? Which is not this. It's crazy when you think about that. So this is so important. So I think out of all of them, the taxes is the one that is some crazy stuff that we must uh, just learn it and put it to practice. So the next one, long-term capital gains and qualified dividends. The richest 0.5% of taxpayers, because it's not many of them, receive 70.2% of a long-term capital gains and 43.3% of all dividends. Pass-through business income also overwhelmingly goes to the rich and benefits from an unjustifiable loophole. They know that. Now you know that. I know this is not going to give you all the information on how to do all that, but I'm telling you, if you are working with people that know this, then you will know too. It's a unjustifiable loophole, but it's something that cannot be changed because it's already there. Wouldn't you take advantage of that? I think you would if you knew, but most people don't know. That's why they don't take advantage of that. All I want to go to work, pay higher taxes, and just have enough to live my life. Is it really? No way. No way, Jose. We must get into financial education. We must get into that really. That's why I'm admiring you guys that are here on a Monday. For most people, it's like a working day. It's like they had to be other jobs. There's like they so much into their jobs that they don't look around to see other options, other opportunities to explore, to be open-minded. I'm an open-minded guy or person or kid or PhD, whatever you want to call it, because I wanted to learn other stuff and how other people are doing things. And that's how you learn. I encountered a lot of people that they're so close-minded that's why they don't learn much because, oh, no, I don't want to know about that. You can bring me any opportunity and I'll listen. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump into opportunities, but I'll listen because I want to learn. That's all it is, right? So now the next one is still with the tax. The state and local tax, which is called SALT deduction, is extremely aggressive. SALT deduction benefits 75.1% of taxpayers making $1 million or more, compared with less than 1% of those making less than 30,000. Unsurprisingly, the average millionaire deducts 317 for every dollar. Look at that. They can deduct that. Business owners, investors, and deducted by the very lowest income Americans. This is crazy when you think about this, and this is good information just to go over and over and over until we understand this part. No, the mortgage interest deduction similarly is skewed towards the rich. It's what it is. If we know that, then why we don't play by the rules? We don't have to be rich. That's the beauty of it. To take advantage of all of this. Average amount deducted is $13,061 for those with at least 7-figure income. 2,886 for those with a six-figure income, 274 for those with a five-figure income, and only $33 for those making a four-figure or 100,000 or less. $33 only we can deduct, but those millionaires can deduct a lot more. See the difference? So knowing these rules, like I said, we don't need to be rich, but just use the rules that they use. And eventually, by accident, you might become rich by doing this. And then we're going to go down to the catastrophic risk. This almost goes with the longevity risk as well. What is a catastrophic risk? You probably heard of someone that has cancer, leukemia, heart attack, or stroke. This is a catastrophic illness, catastrophic event that sometimes we don't think about that. But you probably know of someone that has this kind of situations right now, or that has happened through something like this before. And this is just a risk. But what if, just what if, there will be a plan that if this happens, I'm prepared for it? What if? Oh, there is, actually. There is. But what? A lot of people don't know how they can take advantage of this either. That's why we must educate ourselves, educate others, to keep educating population in America and everywhere. Another catastrophic risk, also, other catastrophic illness or catastrophic event, chronic illness, is usually defined as a permanent condition that inhibits you from performing at least two of six basic activities of daily living. So, which are the activities of daily living? Ambulating, continence, feeding, dressing, personal hygiene, toileting. Those are six activities of daily living that we do as we live. If we cannot perform two out of those six, there's a plan that we can also get money to support ourselves or to pay somebody to help us. These are the things that a lot of people don't know, that these are they're right here, but they don't see it because they don't know. And this is so important for all of us to just share with the people, no? One more. Terminal illness. This is a risk also. We know that sooner or later we are going to go. We believe it's to a better life. And let's believe that. It's to a better life, no? Terminal illness is one that has known cure or has progressed to a point where it cannot be cured anymore. And in the opinion of your hospital consultant and medical officer, it's expected to lead to death between 12 months. Only God knows. He's the only one that in my eyes, in my person, in my body, in my blood, he's the only one that knows. But based on the report of the doctor, if I get this report and I have set up this plan, I can get money tax free to take care of myself, because, or to pay somebody as well to, or take a vacation or whatever, right? um I can do that if I'm set up for this. So why not being set up for things like that that will help us? This is something that everybody, should at least know about it. Make them, or let them make the decision. Let them decide. But if they don't know, how can they decide? They don't know that it exists. They don't know. But if they know, then it's on their hands, right? Just to summarize here, going over the 5 key things to pay attention to, we went over market risk, which now you can use this risk and use it to your advantage. Actually, good thing about that is we should use the market, but at the same time know that we're in the market, and at the same time diversify, and many plans that Exertus also has, right? The other one is inflation. Why have the money in the bank if it's not that secure? I'm telling you, it's only a certain amount of money that they are pressed to pay you back if they lose it. The banks, over that, they are not even responsible for that. What do you heard about a bank here in the Bay Area recently, or a couple of banks? What happened? Is it really secure? No, it's not really secure. The money is not really secure. It's not 100%. It's okay. So, but a lot of people does that. So if you have the money in the bank, you're losing, because inflation is going up. Just think about that. We're living longer. We must prepare now that we are younger, to if we want to live longer, which everybody does. Everybody wants to live longer, but they want to be healthy. They want to have money to pay somebody to help them, because even though you're healthy, but you cannot move, as you when you are young. And the next one, we talked about taxes. There's a good video on taxes. If you look for Ed Slott, YouTube it, Ed Slott. This is a national CPA, and he talks about this taxes, and how you can also not evade, but pay your share. Just pay your share, no overpay. Because why is it that rich people has more money and they pay less? Let's be like them. Let's pay less. Unless you want to pay more, then call me. The other one is catastrophic event. We must have a plan that is set in case that any critical illness happens. Hopefully not. In case that any chronic illness happens, hopefully not. And in case that a terminal illness happens, hopefully not. But let's be prepared. And with that, I think it's 2:10. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes leave, so you can go and play or do whatever you want to do. But I want to thank you for attending this. I hope, I know you learned something, because I did myself. And then just take it and use it. Take it and use it. So thank you so much, everybody. So back to you, Joe, or I don't know if we're just ending it here.
No, we got you, Teo. Yeah, we're just ending it right now. Thank you so much, Teo, for that information. And guys, I just want to let you know, we have 4 more days of this. It's going to be amazing. Get everybody you know on here. Get them to sign up on the Fearless Challenge, exertusfinancialpartners.com/Fearless Challenge. And guys, get them to understand the info that we're sharing with them. Guys, it's historical what we're doing here. And we just want to reach more and more and more people. So again, we want to thank Allan Lorenzo, for starting us off, talking about the 10 points, 10 principles of money, right? And then also myself with your relationship to money. And hopefully you'll be able to really talk about that and sit down and be truthful to yourself about what relationships of money do you have. And then if you want to take it, ask your kids, ask your children, or teach your kids and teach your children, right? Teach them the relationship of money that they should have. All right. And then with Teo coming back to 5 things you got to be aware of, you got to be looking at those things every single day, every single year to make sure that you guys still continue ahead, right? Still continue ahead of everything. So again, we will see you tomorrow with another group of speakers, but we will definitely be here for you to teach you the basics of financial literacy and how the money system works. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Or like I like to say, same Rhino time, same Rhino challenge. Bye-bye.